Okay, good morning all. We are from Group 8. Today we are presenting the theme of defending the birds of the paradise. But before that, we will introduce ourselves. My name is Gathan Adiyatma. Okay, next.
My name is Edward Daniel Sudungan Hutasoit.
Maybe
My name is Gerasimos Dio Damar.
My name is Ghazy Fawwaz Sunindito.
And my name is Friska Alfiana Alzuhdy.
okay, next. First is rationals. The point one is Papua province as primary forest. Papua is the easternmost province and the largest, with the area of around 4,000 kilometers. Papua province has 28 million hectares forest area, including 16 million hectares known as primary forests. The importance of the Papua province as its forests are producing sagu beset its biodiversity. From 6 million hectares of sagu trees worldwide, around 90% are located in Papua. Papua province has designed a roadmap vision 2000 Papua which aims to maintain 90% its forest cover. That's why besides protecting the forest, Papua province can also protect 85% of indigenous Papuan people who depend on the forest.
The land of Papua and the Maluku Islands are the home of cendrawasih, the birds of paradise. Birds of paradise are not only part of the chain of life in the rainforest of Papua and the Maluku Islands, but also symbols of tradition, philosophy of life, and cultural identity rooted in the lives of indigenous peoples. Unfortunately, birds of paradise are facing real threats. These birds are losing their homes, the tropical rainforest in the paradise lands of Papua and Maluku. Deforestation, expansion of large-scale plantation, mining, and land clearing work in uncivilized grid threaten the birds of paradise and the entire natural ecosystems that are the main support for the livelihoods of indigenous peoples and the world's climate. The existence of birds of paradise is a sign that the tropical rainforest in the eastern Indonesian archipelago is still standing up straight and providing life, contributing to the balance of the world's climate and life on Earth.
Protection Way. Protection custody. Breeding of birds could be carried out in protected areas or areas, individuals breeding them to populate themselves, not for personal reason or for commercial and business purpose. The sanctuary would have been safer for giraffes quarantined such dangerous things as death or hunting. Give the best possible care. During the maintenance process, give the best care so that the cendrawasih birds can grow and develop optimally and have the desire to mate and produce more offspring, ensuring that all such needs as bird facilities, daily food and care are done and profited based, taking into consideration the risks available to minimize death of failure. Next, breeding. Breeding is clearly the best way to increase the bird population. Thus, breeding requires a great deal of learning and understanding, beginning with early care, mating, rapid breeding, and raising of the fungus so that the breeding process is actually accomplished and has real result. No hunting. It is clear that the way to get the bird of paradise is not by hunting it down. Hunting can pose a risk of danger, stress, and eventually death, especially when hunting is done for personal purpose, such as caring for and decorating in the home, which in a way comes with the base care. Next, don't decimate the population. Keep a bird population of bird and green space in all areas, including those around you, propagating and motivation others to participate in forest seeking and healthcare, but not the feeling of populating and by not feeling exciting trees for personal and business purpose.
Next, there are do not don't pollute the environment. Don't pollute the environment with any kind of waste, ranging from household waste, plastic waste, air waste such as burning smoke, to garbage that actually causes environmental damage. Release into nature to give the birds of paradise freedom and opportunity to enjoy a stronger and truer happiness. Share it with nature. Of course, choose a location that is truly natural and sustainable. Next, there are prevent stress. Don't forget to always give the cendrawasih luck so that they don't experience Next, plant trees to preserve the environment. Next, there are give birth to the wildlife environment. If you have found bird of paradise directly during this time or keep them for business purposes, it is better to submit them to the wildlife service or related environment for maximum care and a better cultivation process because they some directly from expert or experienced people in the field of plant and animal conservation.
Protection advantage. The protection and preservation of the red paradise bird has been promoted both nationally and globally. The existence of this bird, in addition to having an influence on the ecosystem, also has a high economic value. Good regulation and supervision will provide benefit and positive values for the community, especially those who manage and maintain it. For example, the use of red bird of paradise and other bird species in Raja Ampat is to support tourism so that its existence in nature is favored by tourists, namely as a tourist attraction. For example, conservation-based bird watching activities in Raja Ampat, especially the red paradise bird species, can be carried out in Sawingrai and Sapurkren village. Third, the anticipation of forest destruction and exploitation on a large scale continues to be carried out with supervision and protection in collaboration with government agencies, NGOs, and the Papuan people themselves. The Papuan people have several forms of local wisdom related to community-based conservation of birds of paradise, such as through community local wisdom in the limited use of bird of paradise for ritual and cultural activities. hunting regulated by customary norms, and through modern conservation concept with the presence of non-governmental conservation organizations. Community perceptions about traditional values and about the birds of paradise and their conservation are directly related to the level of community participation and the ecological conditions of the birds of paradise. Where the better the public perception of traditional values, in effort to conserve birds of paradise, the higher the level of participation in the conservation of birds of paradise, and the higher the level of participation in the conservation of birds of paradise. Both the community's perception of the traditional values and knowledge of birds of paradise and conservation, the better the ecological conditions.
Okay, that's the presentation from Group 8. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Good morning.